Week 17 in the fantasy playoffs have become all the rage, right? How do we get to week 17 and score the most points and win all of the money? What if we don't want to do that? What if we just want to score the most points over the entire season? We have some tournaments for you to do that. The marathon on Underdog Fantasy and everything on Drafters Fantasy. Total points, cumulative scoring, score the most points in the whole tournament against everybody. That's the goal in those tournaments. That's the goal for what we're going to try to figure out here today. How can we put together teams that win these total points formats? There's some interesting stats, some interesting nuggets, and some different little things that we can factor in to our teams on Underdog in the marathon and on Drafters. We're going to see if we can't do that and then put them to the test in a couple of drafts in said marathon and on Drafters. Let's do it. All right, guys, happy Friday. Hope everybody's having a wonderful week. It's time. We get so excited. The schedule comes out, right? Everybody's excited for week 17 matchups. What's our favorite week 17 matchup? Who are our favorite players now? How are we going to align our stacks and correlations and all that kind of stuff? But there's lots of other tournaments out there for us to win that have nothing to do with the fantasy playoffs and with week 17. And there's lots of money up for grabs, and nobody seems to focus on those. Certainly not strategy content. Everything is focused around Best Ball Mania and the DraftKings Millie Maker and all that kind of stuff. We're here today to see if we can't put together some winners in the marathon on Underdog and on Drafters. What we're going to do is talk a little shop, talk a little strategy. I got some interesting stats and nuggets and some things to talk through, walk through, so that maybe we can put them to the test in our drafts that we will do today. We will do a marathon draft on Underdog, and then we will do a Drafters $20 main event draft. And if you're hanging out now live, we'll give away a free ticket to the Drafters main event. So if you're watching with us live, hang out till the end, and you'll be entered to win we'll get you entered to win a free ticket over on Drafters. So that'll be back at the end, right? When we're finishing up the Drafters draft, we'll do that. But I've become more and more. Look, I fully admit I love the playoff format. I love the sweat of the advance, and then let's see what my week 15 opponents look like. Let's see what do my teams look like that advance. All that stuff is fun. The week 17 sweat is fun, but there's something to be said for, I don't know, that the purist in me also comes out and just says, sometimes I would like to just score the most points, right? We here at Spike Week, not necessarily myself particularly, but we here at Spike Week, the community, all you guys have absolutely just crushed it over on Drafters. We got multiple winners. Shout out Dorito and Updog, and I know I'm missing names, and I totally apologize. All you guys, dogs are excited for you guys as well. Have just crushed it over on Drafters. And so I've been really sinking my teeth into the total points format. And I think there's a lot of little things that play out during the course of an NFL season that feel like they really, really matter for total points type stuff that I'm not sure that whether they do or don't matter or how much they matter, some things that maybe are being overlooked. And I think we can look at some of the just general data about what happened last season and look into maybe where some of those little edges lie. The very first thing I want to pull up, the winning team in the Drafters Best Ball Championship last year. So $500,000, you see, oh my God, Bengal Buck crushed it, right? $500,000. And before we dig into how many quarterbacks, how many tight ends, all that different kind of stuff, let's just quickly just scroll through the team and think about how this all played out, right? So Joe Burrow, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold. I'm going to bounce over to, typical novice streamer. I meant to share my entire screen over here. All right. If we look over at some player stats, right? So even on the winning team, one of the big things I've noticed about winning teams in these total points formats is it feels like, oh man, I just got to get like everything right. Like I really got to nail all of my picks. And it's just really not true. What happens is your hits, there's going to be a certain subset of the players that you just have to have, right? And maybe you are better at identifying those guys than everybody else is. That, is that's the trickiest part. That's why we draft in volume, right? That's why we draft a bunch of teams, because if you only draft a handful of teams, you're only even going to get access to the Saquon Barkleys and the Jamar Chases, and you may not even ever get access to that combination of players. And so we're drafting a bunch of teams, right? But if I look at quarterback, one of my favorite metrics to use is either points per game added, essentially, is what really drives, points per game, nuclear weeks, spike weeks. We have these over here on Spike Week. We try to consolidate it down so it's a little easier to see right in this data table. Happy Friday, Mossy. And Mossy says that this will be my first year really grinding using the Spike Week tools for drafters, especially. It's so fun using Tournament DB. I will say on drafters specifically, the tools are just a total game changer. You can see everything that's happening in all these drafts, like what combinations are not being used, right? We'll talk about some of the unique combos and such here in a second, how powerful that is in a total points format. Think about the comparison to like a Best Ball Mania. Our Tournament DB tool allows you to see everything that's going on, that has happened in the past, and what's going on in these tournaments, to see maybe where some of the gaps are, right? When do you want to pull a guy far up ahead of ADP to create a different combination of players, or when do you maybe want to shy away from a very popular combination of players? Those kinds of things are available from within Tournament DB. You can see all that. And then of course you can use the tools to manipulate your portfolio, right? How many combinations of these guys do I want on my own teams? What am I, do I want 25% Brock Bowers, or do I want 15% Brock Bowers, or all those different kinds of things you can see from within there. And shout out Christopher. I was ripping some drafters this morning. I did a video yesterday. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that button real quick. And of my top stacks for best ball this year, and the 49ers are on there. So if I'm sniping Purdy or any 49ers, there was 4 teams. Go check out that video. I thought it was pretty fun. And so I'm in on the 4. That's hilarious. Christopher was watching the video during the draft. So you may have, I don't know if you got to the 49ers part of the video yet, but if you did, you would have probably seen like, he's going to snipe Purdy from me. So I want to look at like, how did this team win? Right. And you look at it and someone would say, oh man, 3, right? So this team is a 3, right? Joe Burrow, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, also has 3 tight ends: Dallas Goedert, Jonnu Smith, and Mike Gesicki. But if you also look like Sione Vaki, right? Literally could not be more useless. But you can have that miss when you have Saquon, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Tyjae Spears, and Bucky Irving. Now, Tyjae was not like a huge hit, but Tyjae did really, really come through at the end of the season. Ironically, when Saquon, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, and such were maybe not quite hitting their total ceiling levels, Tyjae had a couple of big games. And of course, Bucky was awesome. Jamar Chase, George Pickens, you might think George Pickens wasn't that good. But then when you hit Chase, when you hit those running backs, when you hit JSN, Lab McConkey, Jordan Addison was fine, right? But then you hit Darnell Mooney. Andre Yoshivas provided some usable weeks, particularly early in the season. And the tight ends, really, like, honestly, it was Jonnu, right? It was Jonnu. Gesicki was fine, and we'll talk about Goddard here in a second. But I wanted to point out because it's easy to go in and say, oh, this team did 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends. It was like sort of cheap tight end. Didn't totally punt, because Goddard wasn't like a total punt. It went early running back, right? It's easy to say, okay, I'm going to draft a bunch of 3 quarterback, 3 tight end teams, take some early running backs, and what have you. But if we actually look at like what those players were contributing to these teams, if we so this is just looking at spike weeks, which is, a standard deviation above the average score, for the week, right? You want to be providing a spike above what your opponents are getting, right? And we got to scroll a ways to get to old Geno Smith, correct? Do we see Geno? Do we see Geno? Do we see Geno? 1. Geno had 0 nuclear weeks, 1 spike week, 9 usable weeks, and 8 dud weeks. From a points per game added perspective, Geno lost you 18 points, meaning Geno was really never hitting your lineup in a way in which he helped, right? Because any other 2 quarterbacks are going to have a spike week here or there. Now, the timing of these things is fun in these tournaments, the marathon and drafter stuff, where how do the points layer together? We'll talk about that too. But on a per game perspective, Geno was really losing you points. He was not gaining you points. On the flip side, the team had Joe Burrow, right? Despite the fact that Josh Allen, was really highly drafted, even Jalen Hurts with a great season, Joe Burrow was the quarterback 3 in total points added. He was the quarterback 2 in spike weeks. He was the quarterback 2 in nuclear weeks. And he was the quarterback 3 in points per game added. Josh Allen actually still somehow. Josh Allen is an interesting case. It's kind of bizarre. I know we love Josh Allen. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Josh Allen. I have Josh Allen ranked literally 1 spot ahead of Lamar. But Lamar is kind of viewed as like it wasn't like a truly incredible season, and we're still putting Josh Allen ahead of him, despite the fact that Lamar added more points per game to your lineup. He added more total points to your lineup. He had 2 more nuclear weeks. He had 2 more spike weeks, and he never had a dud. Lamar Jackson did. Josh Allen had 4 duds. So just something right to think about. Joe Burrow was a little bit cheaper last year than he is this year. And so that this impact of this QB3 in points added, and in particular these bunch of these big games, 7 total spike weeks, 3 of them being a nuclear week, is a big deal. So funny enough, Geno was like not really that big of a deal. Sam Darnold was actually the big hit here. Point being, we've already seen Vaki was on that team. Geno Smith was really kind of useless on that team. You saw Jordan Whittington on that team. You even saw George Pickens and Addison as like not incredible picks, but when you are able to hit on a handful of different things, then what it just comes down to is like a little bit of the layering impact. And so let's look at the tight ends again, or first super quickly, because I wanted to point out the Goddard thing. Oddly enough, Goddard did have a one huge game, and I imagine that actually ended up being pretty impactful for this team. So one takeaway that I've had is, while the 3 quarterback part makes me feel cozier, there's 20 rounds on drafters, especially. This is of course drafters data, but it's also directly applicable to the marathon. But especially in the marathon, I really am much more leaning into 2 quarterbacks. Now, you get, things can happen in any individual draft to where you might need that 3rd, right? But the 3rd quarterback can often be viewed through the playoff lens. I know, like our good friends over at Legendary Upside, Pat Green and crew, are working on some stuff where they like the 3rd quarterback for the playoff weeks. You just dodge a Joe Burrow bullet with a good Geno Smith game at the right time. It can help, but it actually detracts from you being able to score the most points. I know I'm saying that with the winning lineup here, but you see, this person could have won by even more, replacing Geno Smith with like a impactful wide receiver on this team. Dallas Goedert, however, despite the fact, if we look at the tight end data here, Dallas Goedert drafted as the tight end 13, finished as the tight end 11 in points per game. You think that seems fine, but from a total points added perspective, he actually lost you points over the course of the season. Dallas Goedert did. And on a points per game basis, right, he was, let's just call it neutral. Really not adding anything, not taking away anything, but he did have this one big game. Hilariously, he only had 1 total spike week, and it came in a really nuclear fashion. It was against the New Orleans Saints, if you recall. 6 usable games, duds, right? He missed games. It was kind of a gross Dallas Goedert season. He just happened to have this one game. And so at tight end, where that can be a little bit more impactful, like one big quarterback game is generally not catapulting you because the quarterbacks are just all scoring more points than the tight end position is. Leaning a little bit more into three tight ends, especially if they're cheaper. Now, if I'm drafting Brock Bowers, I'm not so sold. I want to be taking 3 because I spent a second round pick on Brock Bowers. But that one, really, Dallas Goedert in the 10th round or whatever it was, he provided one huge game, and it actually really helped this team. Whereas Geno Smith never, ever, ever helped this team, despite being healthy all year, despite, it just, the quarterback thing, when you hit on Joe Burrow and you hit on Sam Darnold, you just never really need Geno Smith. And it's easy to say, oh, sure, if you hit, but that's also the point. We have to assume in these drafts, these total points drafts, that we've hit in a big way on our roster, right? We're going to draft a bunch. We're going to take a ton of there's going to be a bunch of attrition in our portfolio, right? We're going to draft 150 and we hope one, or you draft 25 or 50 or 100. We want one that has a chance at sniffing the top, right? So you're going to cycle through a lot of misses. You have to build as though you have hit, even more so than in the playoff formats. You need to build as though you have really, really hit here. And so when I think about the onesie positions and I look at like the impact of these guys, it's really, really, it actually really hurts you when you take that third quarterback and you already have the two big hits. No, not yet. No, we haven't. We're going to do a marathon here in just a minute. We're going to walk through a couple of other, just some interesting little data points for total point, because again, the total points thing is just so different, right? When we talk about the playoff formats, looking at the running backs, right? Clearly, that's what won really everybody anything. But in the playoff formats, there was a lot of different ways to slice it with your running backs. We have what we call a draft rewind tool. I highly recommend anybody, if you want to like play around with seeing what could have won, how would certain teams have done. Maybe you want to put your best team in here, right? Okay, I had a CeeDee Lamb and Malik Neighbors and whatever, right? You can build a team, and Josh Allen and Sam Laporta, right? You can build this team and see how it would have done in this draft rewind tool. You'll see that on Underdog or on DraftKings, in BBM, in these playoff formats, there's actually a ton of different ways you can win that tournament. Like, you could have easily is not the right word. Of course, you would have needed to advance, but you actually could have quite easily won without Saquon Barkley, without Derrick Henry. You could win without. I would actually even argue, if you go back through that exercise, maybe Jamar Chase wasn't even. Jahmyr Gibbs might have been a better first round pick. Jonathan Taylor might have been a better second round pick than Saquon Barkley, which is the chaos of that format where the playoffs just matters. You just got to squeak by for 14 weeks. You just got to squeak by in that format. In the marathon on drafters, there's no squeaking by. Week 1 counts the same as week 17. So you're going to need the right, core pieces. Of course, the winning team had them, right? In Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Bucky Irving, and Jamar Chase. I would also probably toss Ladd and JSN into that mix, and maybe Jonnu Smith. So once you kind of have established that you have those handful of core pieces, then it comes down to how everything else layers in. Whereas on the playoff format stuff, like I think we do it backwards on both sides. I'm saying we, probably because it's me, I'm the one making this mistake. Drafters teams or marathon teams closer to how we would draft the playoff format teams, a BBM team or a DraftKings Millie team. But then we draft BBM teams like we probably think or should draft drafters teams. And it doesn't really make a whole lot of logical sense, because our brains are all messed up with this week 17 thing, and then the total points thing bleeds in. And I think it's a really difficult push-pull, whereas you can win so many ways in a playoff format contest there's a much more direct path every single season in the marathon and on drafters. Clearly last year that was Saquon Barkley on drafters or in the marathon. But really, actually, after Saquon, like it did open up a little bit. It did open up. Alvin Kamara actually added on a points per game basis, almost the same thing that Derrick Henry did. Then there is a little bit of fall off, but JT was so good at the end of the season. He's not that far, but you couldn't really get JT and Saquon Barkley. But then, like, look down the list, right? The Josh Jacobs pick clearly was fine, but you could have accomplished very similar with Joe Mixon, with Kyron Williams, with James Cook, with Ken Walker. There's a bunch of those different guys. So once we've established that we have the hits, then it's kind of how do we want to dip in and out of these positions? One key way that I like to do it with, let's say, when we get into this draft in a minute, we'll start to see it in work. Let's say I drafted Jamar Chase and Saquon Barkley in a draft last year. From that point on, I've established that those two are the right picks in round 1 and round 2, because that's what has to happen to beat. I have to beat every single other team in one of these tournaments, right? Once I've established that, now I want to think about how do I get different from those, right? Because I'm competing against it's like a DFS tournament at that point. I'm competing against so there's a, just for basic math, because I'm a simpleton. There's 120,000 total teams in one of these tournaments, let's just say. Okay. So every draft has 12 teams and there's one Saquon Barkley team, which means there's 10,000 Saquon Barkley teams. Okay. X amount of them have Jamar Chase. Let's just say, for rough math, right? Let's just say 500 of them have Jamar Chase. So Saquon Barkley, Jamar Chase, I'm one of 500 of those teams out there. I could just say, sure, I'll coin flip it with 499 other teams with that. Or I can say, how do I build this a little bit differently than those teams? Pull someone up that I want to be the only team. Okay, there's 500 Saquon and Chase teams. Now, how do I be the only one with something else? Whatever that other else thing is. It could be a different stack. You could pull somebody up in the 3rd round. You could get a screaming ADP value, right? Somebody in the 4th round falls way past ADP. There's a bunch of different ways that it can happen. Some of them we manufacture ourselves. Some of them we don't. But the ultimate part of this game that I think gets lost a little bit is this basic math equation of almost no matter who you select in your first couple of picks, you are duped by hundreds to thousands of other teams. And you can just play it out and say, I'm just going to keep coin flipping down, right? It's like, okay, there's 1,000 of this combination, and now there's 500 of this, and now 300 of this. And it's like, the further you go without differentiating yourself on into the draft, the more difficult it is to separate from those other teams. You end up like coin flipping, a lot of stuff. And I want to avoid as much coin flipping of all of that as I possibly can. So you'll see you'll hear me talk a ton about the combinations of players. As Mossy mentioned, we have a tournament database, Tournament DB, that will show you what's going on in terms of the player combinations that are projecting to be more popular than others, that have been more popular in the past than others. And you can do different things. As an example, one of my favorite things to do is pull up players in the very first round. Take up Puka Nacua 3rd overall. Take a Malik Neighbors 3rd overall. I think it might have been in that draft that Christopher was mentioning. I think I took Neighbors 2nd overall, something like that. And just saying, like, I'm also taking a bunch of CeeDee Lamb. I'm drafting Justin Jefferson. I'm drafting these other guys too. But I can instantly, through one move, instantly say, I know this Malik Neighbors team is going to be different than every other one because I took him 2nd. He usually goes 11th. And so I'm taking him with players on the left side of the board. Everyone else takes him with players on the right side of the board. And now all of a sudden, like, I have this crazy unique combination. I take him with whatever, Trey McBride and T. Higgins, or Garrett Wilson, Rashee Rice, JSN, something like that nobody else is taking him with. And then, it trickles down as well continually, round after round. And all of a sudden, you have the single most unique Malik Neighbors team that if Malik Neighbors is the right first round pick, you've created this scenario in which nobody has that Malik Neighbors team like you do. They're all flipping coins because they all have the same first couple round players too. They're trying to differentiate in the 10th through 18th round. You don't need to differentiate in the 10th through 18th round. You can just play the best plays, right? Draft the guy who falls way behind ADP. Take your stacks, take the best players available, take whatever, because you've already gotten different. It doesn't matter. And you've gotten different with the most impactful players. The players that are most likely to impact the tournament winner are the most expensive players because they score the most points. They're the best players, right? So I would like to be different. It's like, again, using I come from DFS. If Jamar Chase is 30% and Justin Jefferson is 5% on a slate, and everybody's playing some cheap stack, whatever. Michael Penix and Kyle Pitts is a popular stack, so people can afford the expensive wide receiver. You can just give me Justin Jefferson. I like 1 out of every 6 times, right? 1 out of every 5 times can Justin Jefferson beat Jamar Chase? Of course. And that's the same thing that we have here. Whereas you get into the cheaper guys, sure, there's also edges to ownership there, but it's harder, right? It's higher variance for those things to play themselves out. So a good question. Do you think it's more important to get unique early on or look for low-owned combos later in the draft? I think, and so I was describing the pull a guy up in the first round. You absolutely, that's like just the easy example, the most achievable example. You can do this a lot of different ways. You don't have to pull up Malik Neighbors to the second overall pick in order to be different in the first round. But I do think kind of the earlier the better, with slight hyperbole in that statement. Somewhere amongst my studs is the easiest way, because the further you move down the board with those low-owned combos, the more likely it is that there are still a large amount of those teams available. And even if there are not a large amount of those teams that have been drafted yet, they can be over the course of the future, because the fluctuation of ADP, the further we move down the board, the fluctuation of ADP gets wilder and wilder, right? Like, just sometimes the guy that goes 85th overall goes 105. It just happens. Like, not often, but the further you move, right? The guy that goes 120 sometimes is available at 150. And you're like, holy shit, this is crazy. But the fluctuation, the range of outcomes of ADP, the further you move down the board, gets wider and wider and wider, no matter the player. They'll get reached, right? They'll go earlier too, but they'll also fall at the top. Like, have you ever seen CeeDee Lamb in the second round? Nope. Won't happen in this whole draft. And if it does, the draft's getting thrown out probably. Like, they just don't fluctuate that much at the beginning. So that's the easiest part to take advantage of. Like, I know for a fact that you're just not going to get certain combos, certainly not very often, unless people like us are trying to get them. And that's so impactful, not just because, it's unique, it's because I'm competing against a larger quantity. I need to outscore all of those Malik Neighbors teams, right? The 10,000 Malik Neighbors teams. I'm one of 10,000. That's a shitload of Malik Neighbors teams. I need to outscore all of them. So what's the easiest way to do it? Take different players than they did with them, right? And just say they were wrong. Right? Malik Neighbors was right, but they were all wrong because they just stayed in line and took guys off the ADP list, and I went a different direction. But this is so Mr. says, unless a neighbor's drafter pulls a left side player to the right side of the board, that you can that is another absolute way to do this. I may do it in this draft. You can take neighbors and pull up guys from the right. That was just one example of how you can do it. There's a ton of different ways you can do this. It doesn't always have to be in the first round either. You can take a popular first and second round pairing, but then, okay, so you take neighbors at his cost, and you take Drake London or Brock Bowers, right? A popular combination of Malik Neighbors players. You take that. Let's set aside Brock Bowers here. You take that, and then instead, I don't know, let's pull up George Kittle, or let's pull up Devontae Smith and try to get an Eagle stack. Let's pull up, I don't have the data in front of me on exactly how popular those combos are, but right, you could take a chalky first 2-round pairings. You could take a chalky third and then start pulling stuff. But again, the further you move down the board, the more difficult it is to ensure that you're getting something that is different than the field. So I just think you need to make sure that you're intentional about finding ways to duck in and out of how everyone else is building. We've talked a little bit about the roster construction stuff. I'm oddly enough more interested in 3 quarterbacks in like a BBM or something. I could be swayed into the idea that because of the weird playoff gauntlet, I need some weird stuff that I don't feel very comfortable with. I think that in this format, it's fairly clear and straightforward. I'm not saying you don't need 3 quarterbacks, but I think if you're spending any real draft capital, you probably just want 2. And 3 tight ends can be okay if you're spending on the superstars, the Brock Bowers, the Trey McBrides, probably the George Kittles this year. You can make a case for the third, but I think you're probably going to want to lean more into 2 there because of the draft capital that you spent. The season that you're going to need from the superstar tight end is going to be a big season. If you're worried about needing depth at the position, then maybe you don't want the elite tight end. Maybe you want to wait for that Goddard range of tight end and tack on and try to find Jonnu and find Mike Gesicki and find those guys. But what you really need is the depth of even what that winning team that we just saw that had a bunch of misses. What you really, really need is depth of players to hit your 2 running back spots, 3 wide receiver spots, and a flex, right? That's 6 spots every single week that you need. And you only have 18 or 20 picks to do it. And so getting a little bit funky, making sure I got the depth to hit and win that flex every single week. That's it, right? Like we shook these guys. We're playing Yahtzee. We shook them up. We rolled them out on the table. We hit Yahtzee. Now, once we've hit Yahtzee, right? How do I optimize around the fact that I've hit this Yahtzee? It's making sure I have some positional allocations that make sense, right? I took the right first round pick. I took the right second round pick. I got different. My team is very different than the others. Now I want to layer it in to make sure that when the chaos happens throughout the course of this season, when Dallas Goedert gets hurt, or when whoever, right? Somebody gets hurt, somebody goes down, because you're going to deal with it. It's going to happen. Players are going to miss time. Addison misses time, or Addison is suspended, or what have you. When players miss time, you're going to need to have enough firepower, enough bullets in the chamber to still score big points, because that week 12 game in BBM, like you probably already like locked it down. Right. If you have like the right 4 or 5 players for the regular season, like one low game in week 12 doesn't really matter in Best Ball Mania. A terrible week in week 12 or week 13 or whatever in this format can be the difference from you finishing 15th and first. Like it can be that stark, which is $500,000 or like $5,000. Like it's the life-changing amount of money. And so we need to make sure that we're having that depth. One way, the final little thing here before we hop into this marathon, the final little thing here is that team stacking can be really, really powerful. You notice that team actually didn't have Chase Brown, the winning team, but you could have won with Chase Brown. You probably couldn't have won without Bengals, period. It did not have T. Higgins, though T. Higgins was impactful, but it did have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Mike Gesicki, and Andre Yoshivas, right? When you hit, this team just had Bucky from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but if you load it up on the Bucs, Baker was arguably the most impactful quarterback from a like point per dollar perspective, right? Points per ADP position, whatever. Baker, Bucky, even Rachaad White. Now, granted, in like the 6th round, Rachaad White wasn't great, but Mike Evans was huge. Chris Godwin, and before he got hurt, was about to be a slate breaker. Cade Otton had big games / useful games. We mentioned Bucky, but Jalen McMillan, right? It's another cheap option. Popped up 8 touchdowns, could have been impactful, and all you had to do was I'm just going to stack the Bucs. So stacking offenses, I think, is good in all of best ball. in this format, it's even more impactful. It allows you to get those fewer things right. It helps with that layering. If you have 4 or 5 guys from the same offense and it hits, because again, we're assuming that we've gotten things right. We're drafting like we're right. This thing has hit. This offense is good, right? Maybe you like the Patriots this year, or maybe you like you think that the Seahawks are going to be good, even though everybody's down on them. You think that the Giants, Russ is going to bring the Giants back to prominence, which is not going to happen. But nonetheless, you're a big Russ fan. The Giants are going to bounce back. Loading up on that team because they're going to outperform if it's right, if they're a hit, like the Bucks were last year. They're going to overperform as an overall offense, but then it's going to kind of layer guys in, right? Oh my God, Godwin has the nuclear week in week 3, but Evans does it in week 7. Otten does it in week 11, and Bucky does it for 4 weeks, and Rashad does it, right? It's like you create that layering that you need, especially in those money weeks when everybody's rosters are dinged up and missing players. You create that by stacking offenses. So let's hit a couple of these final comments, and then we'll get to drafting and see what we can do here. Mr. Mister, would you agree it's probably better to only do it from the ends of the board? It's certainly much easier to do it from the ends of the boards. I think you could manipulate it a little bit in the middle, but I think the easiest place to do the moving guys around is at the ends, because you can control, and the ownership is just so much more drastic, right? The amount of times that Jamar Chase is drafted with T. Higgins or with Trey McBride is so much higher than the different combinations in the middle, because it's just a little more spread out in the middle of the rounds. I'm with you, Christopher. If you're paying up for a top 5 quarterback and tight end, then you should only go 2 at those positions, and then of course there's shades of gray to like, when is it only top 5? Is it top 8? Is it, and making sure you're adjusting to the draft that you're in as well. If you get to the 16th round and you're like, normally I take 3 tight ends on this team, but my running backs are a little weak. I need another running back flyer here. Playing it by ear on each team, I think, is impactful as well. Amen. Scott says pace of play, pass rate over expected, and drop back efficiency. Find those by the whole offense. Bingo. Find those. All right. We're going to do a marathon. We're going to do a marathon first. So let's pop on over to Underdog, get in there, see if we can fill one of these babies. Let's do 20. Should we do 20 seconds? I imagine everybody prefers the 20 seconds. And let's see. Oh boy. We'll see if we can fill it. If not, we'll find out. Hopefully there's 8 of you in here that want to draft the marathon. Otherwise, we may be waiting a little while. If we don't get her filled, we'll figure something out. We're probably going to do the 20. Just full transparency. We're probably going to do the 20 over on drafters. And if we can't get 6 here in the marathon, we can pop a couple on drafters. Let's see. Yeah, if it doesn't fill, we can double draft. We'll give it a minute. It is funny. Shout out South put in the Discord, which of course, perfect, I guess, segue into if you're playing best ball this year. I know we talked about it a little bit. Mossy talked about the Spike Week tools in these contests. I really do think that the Draft Hacker, right, which is our overlays, which you'll see as soon as one of our drafts fill, it's so powerful to be able to manipulate your exposure, get the correlations popping on your screen. If you like to see things like the Spike Week percentages, player age, right? You want to see, do you have bye week concerns, which can be impactful in this format as well, right? We didn't even talk about that because I think it's more so like don't draft your whole team on week 8 bye. I don't think there's like an absolute ton to, there's a lot of shades of gray of, don't draft 10 guys on week 8 bye. Can you draft 4 or 5 probably, and I think it's going to be okay. But the tools are just killer. And if you are a subscriber, you get free access to the Discord. The Discord has gone premium. We of course do have some free sections. If you want to get your draft reviewed, of course you get access to written content and the media stuff before everybody else. And if you need support from the site, you can get access to all that without being in the Discord. But there's like 1,000 channels of Best Ball Sickos talking all day, every day, literally all day, every day. And our weekly lab, a bunch of different stuff that goes on in the Discord. And you can get access to that with a subscription, or you're like, I don't really want to use the best ball tools. I'm raw dogging it. I'm just having fun, and you can just pay $5 a month. Discord only. Sign up. Go to your account page. Connect your Discord. Voila, easy peasy. Hell yeah, Scott in here. We filled that pretty good. This is hella friends and family though, which I'm not particularly excited about. I'm not going to get any of the guys that I like. I can tell you that for sure. I mean, it is all you guys. Absolutely all you guys. I guess it would be a decent time to say, wow, only 3% full, despite it's only 75,000 people. The marathon, 100K to first. It's not bad, but we'll do drafters here after this. And as I mentioned, this is probably a good time while we're waiting for this to start. That's if you're here now and you missed it at the very beginning, we are going to give away a free ticket to the Drafters Best Ball Championship main event. Their $20. Somebody made some funny comments in the Google Sheet. I'm going to share this Google Sheet in the chat right now. Go in, put your username, name, whatever the hell you want to put, something that says who you are in column A. At the end of this show today, after we finish up the Drafters draft, which we will do next, I'm going to spin the old wheel and give away a free ticket over on Drafters, $20 free ticket. So put your name in that sheet. I'll share it a couple more times before we get done. Anybody free to enter. It does cost you you have to click the like button. That's the surcharge for the free ticket entry. Oh my. Chase, Saquon, Bijan, Gibbs. I'm sorry, I would be disingenuous. I love Justin Jefferson. I love him so much as a human, but I have to, we got to stick to our guns. I have CeeDee Lamb ranked ahead of him, and thus we're drafting CeeDee Lamb. You're welcome, Shubes. Oh, God. South, love you. Thank you for the super chat. Step in your time machine and tell me how the Chiefs' backfield looks in 2025, snap shares, productions, etc. I actually like Pacheco. A good clip. I think either is fine, Christopher. We'll figure out. Once we spin it, we'll get in touch on Twitter, Discord, whatever. We'll get in touch. So just something that identifies who you are, so you know you won, and I know who won. Gosh, tell me how the Chiefs' backfield breaks down. I'm quite bullish from a best ball perspective on Isaiah Pacheco. Last year at this time, this dude was going, and certainly by the end of the summer was going much, much higher than this. And people have just soured on Pacheco, I guess. And I get it that last year was disastrous, but it was largely injury. It was largely because of injury. Then he went down. They brought in Hunt, right? They had P. Ryan. They try the Carson Steele thing, kind of. They just start to trust Kareem Hunt. They're en route to a Super Bowl, and they trust these veteran other guys. So he was probably never healthy and probably never there's no reason to just go back all in on Pacheco. I think he has a really good chance to take back command of that backfield. And from a talent perspective, I actually quite like Eli Mitchell. God damn you guys. So McBride goes, London go. Guys, this is just really not great. Okay, I'm pulling T up. I'm not getting locked out of these wide receivers by you sons of bitches. I'm gonna say let's just break it down from like snap share or something like that perspective. And I'm going to cheat a little bit because I'm going to say 60% Pacheco, 20% Eli Mitchell, and 20% is where I'm going to build in my buffer of Chiefs bullshit. That's what we'll call it. 60% Pacheco, 20% Eli Mitchell, because I think he's really let's get our not even hand in the dirt. Let's get our hand in the psychologist chair. Let's get our back on the couch. Instead of our hand in the dirt, we're going to get our back on the couch. That sounds terrible. That's a terrible phrase choice. Nonetheless, let's get our minds into the mind of Eli Mitchell, who I think is like, this is my shot. Like, this is my shot. And he's been good. Like, it wasn't like for lack of ability for Eli Mitchell, how this has run out for him. It's lack of availability. And so he's kind of my dark horse bet. I like Brashard Smith, the football player. Yeah, definitely not for this contest. I like Brashard Smith, the football player. I'm like, from a fantasy perspective, Brashard Smith is like an offensive weapon. Stupid, cheesy ass phrase we love to use. He's not like he's like 180 pounds. He played wide receiver at Miami, and at SMU, he was a very good running back at SMU. But I could see him making the team and being used in some fun ways. He's not gonna like take over a backfield at the NFL level. I think it's more like, let's get him out there and use him in some funky / fun ways. I'll take I'll take a little JSN. It's probably, speaking of unique combos. Yeah, right. That's fair. Walter said, he said 20% for the Chiefs BS, meaning Brashard Smith. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Brashard Smith is the Chiefs bullshit. Ironically enough, didn't do anything like mega crazy from let's pull a guy up, right? And I did it from closer to the middle of the board, but just by being in a room that I think drafted very efficiently, getting Ladd, London, AJB, McBride, right, BTJ, et cetera, all out of the way in front of me. Moxie pulling up Bowers, doing Bowers AJB for a unique combo there. I kind of got a little bit of, right, CD close enough to ADP, but pulling T up. T is much more at the 2-3 turn, and then getting JSN close to ADP is like, well, the CD teams are generally not going to have that guy. They'll have HN, Jonathan Taylor, etc. So it kind of worked out. Berg already losing. Shout, thank you for your donation. We will all chop your $15 up across the 75,000 people. What is that? I can't do math anymore. I used to be very good at math. This is something I'm also learning as I've gotten older and technology has taken over. $15 divided by 75,000 people is 2/100ths of a penny. You just donated 2/100ths of a penny to all of our EV bank accounts. Okay. Let's do. Here's a pick I really love in this format, and that's T-Mac, where I love Devontae Smith. But T-Mac to me feels like the perfect combination of, I'm going to get volume stuff all season from the rookie, alpha, and the upside. The Panthers are good. T-Mac is incredible. Like, definitely not a 4th round pick, certainly not in a total points format. So, well, Walter, I'm about to find out because I just took 4 wide receivers, but yes, it is viable. I will say the like total gal-brained, like 0 RB stuff where I'm just like, I don't really care about the first couple of weeks, RB1 Jordan Mason, who gives a shit? not quite as viable. I think this year though, you see Hampton come off the board, Brees. There's about to be some running backs coming off the board here in these next couple of rounds that I think actually like historically would be like second round picks, maybe third round picks, and you can get them as RB1, RB2, RB3, and so it's like, do you call that? Is that called zero running back? I don't know, but I would say that there are very real paths to like this like modified zero running back. You still need week one production, right? So you can't just do the crazy full blown zero RB bro thing like you might be able to do in a best ball mania. But zero running back can work. Zero running back has won the first year, if I'm remembering correctly. BBM did regular season prizes. They gave away just $1 million to the first place person, which is a choice. Zero running back, I believe, won. See, so I'm going to take Chuba. This fits. Travis Hunter, by the way, is still on the board, and certainly not my favorite player in the marathon. Generally don't like drafting cornerbacks in total points. Rookie cornerbacks in the marathon. But I believe zero running back won the regular season prize that year, and like zero running back / this quasi zero running back thing we're talking about. I believe when our good friend Spike Weaker Dorito won the drafters, he won the drafters $20 a couple years ago. One with like a zero running back ish team, if I'm recalling. And so I actually quite like it this year. Like Chuba Hubbard is the lead back for the Carolina Panthers. I've already kind of started to make this Panthers bet, which I do like. They made my top stacks list. I know that's controversial, but I like the Panthers this year. The rest of the Panthers are all free. And if the Panthers are good and Chuba is just like, why can't Chuba just come out doing what he was doing last year? And that's not a 5th round player. That's like a 2nd round player. So in this format, I think we get some of those guys. I do really like Moxie takes RJ Harvey. I think RJ Harvey is like the running back version of T-Mac in this, where he's probably just going to get stuff out of the gates if he's good and just takes it over. Like we're taking this guy at the 1-2 turn next year or something is the RJ Harvey upside, which is just like a smash in the 5th round. So right, you see Mixon, James Cook, Hampton. I took Chuba. And I'm a little squeamish on Kamara, but Kamara definitely fits the mold of what we're talking about here. If week 1 matters just as much as week 17, Alvin Kamara also matters, right? Ken Walker, James Conner, Henderson. What do we got here? Demont. Judkins is kind of nice for the combination as well. A cheaper, shittier version of the RJ Harvey bet, right? Tony Pollard, Aaron Jones. There's just a lot of these guys that are going to give you early production. Damn. Okay, I will say I definitely do not want Patrick Mahomes. What is this? Patrick Mahomes ADP? That's nonsense. I'll do Judkins. Really don't like Judkins, but I actually think he kind of fits this. He fits the team. Lame excuse for drafting players you don't like that we make all fucking summer. Starting it off hot. Haven't even hit June yet. Drafting players I don't like. The division is dark magic. The NFC South. Yeah, NFC South. It's a feather in the cap of Alvin Kamara. A lot of dome and good weather games and not a lot of defense that gets played in that division. Not a lot of good teams, which leads to a bunch of offense. And I think it's fair. If the Chiefs couldn't figure out how to use the DeAnthony Thomas, then there's a name I was not expecting to hear today. DeAnthony Thomas. DeAnthony Thomas, I haven't gone back and looked at the DeAnthony Thomas metrics in a while. You'll have to forgive me. I did enjoy watching DeAnthony Thomas. I don't think he was utilized in quite the same way, nor as efficiently in college as Brashard Smith was. Touche. That had 2 meanings. Division, not fun. and also that division, the NFC South. Made a ton of sense. I don't care that Jacoby Myers is a better fit in this format. The question is Caleb Johnson or Tony Pollard. I just love Tony Pollard so much. I do like the Caleb Johnson thing, but I don't want to stack both him and Judkins right now. I think you can. So I'm sure there would be questions about that. But I just really I'm heavy into Tony Pollard this year, and in this format, I think he makes just a shit ton of sense. On this team, he makes a shit ton of sense, right? You start 4 wide receivers, so I can already tell this is going to turn into a 3 tight end team, and so I want to make sure I get some of this running back stuff maybe a little bit earlier than I would normally, because I know some of my later picks are going to be tight ends. So we better get some actual running back stuff. Big 10 running back correlation. There we go. Now we're talking. Ooh, good question. No cap, Mac. What teams do I'm doing wonderful, by the way. Thank you for asking. How kind of you. In a space, in a fantasy and particularly best ball space that has become about as toxic as fucking Chernobyl. It's very kind of you to ask how someone is doing. Thank you. I'm wonderful. It's a great Friday. Actually, I think I told you guys this. A week ago today was my birthday. I didn't get to spend it with like my wife and I did something for my birthday, but I didn't get to spend it with my mom and my nieces and such. And so actually last night had dinner with Mama Beimfohr and the nieces, 4-year-old niece, 1-year-old niece. A ton of just they're the best. A ton of fun. So I'm doing wonderful. It's 75 degrees and sunny outside. Can't beat it, man. I don't know if you noticed. I'm rocking a little Formula One going on here. It's fucking Monaco weekend. I don't even if you hate F1, just for the scenic views, turn on Monaco this weekend. Absolutely unbelievable. But anyway, enough about whatever. I don't know what the hell just happened that led me down that path. Positivity, I guess. Wow, positivity sends you down a spiral. Who do I like stacking the most? I'll be honest with you. I'm not deviating from the 4 top stacks that I did on the video yesterday. Let me make this pick really quickly. And oh boy, I really don't want. Oh, okay. Darnell Mooney, marathon ass pick. Darnell Mooney, slam dunk marathon pick. Darnell Mooney. Yeah, shout out to you, Mac. So I'll just give it away. I'm not gonna fucking make you go watch the video for it. 4 top stacks: Dallas Cowboys, Jacksonville Jaguars, San Francisco 49ers, Carolina Panthers. Ironically, a team that I have here today. Love. I think that they might. I could make a case that they're even better stacks in the marathon on drafters than they are in BBM. There, because a big reason why, like how I choose like my favorite stacks is like pricing and how easily can I put them together. So it's not like just, oh, I love this offense. It is certainly, I like the offense. I like the offensive upside, but being able to get them cheaply, being able to stack them in a myriad of ways, being able to stack the whole offense, right? Like the Panthers, like 4th, 5th round pick, the Cowboys. If you can get CD in the first round, you can get Pickens, you can get the whole goddamn boat, right? The whole, I guess the whole horse, whatever a cowboy would ride on, right? You can get everything about the offense, which is a huge deal in these tournaments. So I'm going to stick to those 4. All right, we're getting thin here. I'm already hating what's on the board. But we're gonna do Dak. I'm gonna do Dak. I'm gonna do the Dallas thing. I'm all right with this. Dak CD, Chuba Judkins, Pollard, T. Higgins, JSN, T. Mac, and Darnell Mooney. Scott says, the more I look into it, I can't go 3 tight ends in the marathon, the punitive of not getting any tiny point. Yeah. But I also don't want to face it's. I need some roll assurance. I'm with you. I agree with everything you just said. It's very, very tricky on underdog. On underdog, especially, man. Like in 18 rounds, it's so hard. It puts my brain in a pretzel taking three tight ends, especially in like I need points all season long, and those tight ends at right. So all 3 of them at best are hitting the flex, and then now I'm saying this is the hard part about the tight end thing. People say, well, they technically can hit the flex, and I guarantee you, I will say this several times over the summer because I'm drafting more 3 tight end than I did historically. But the market has changed. Like things like last year, like dude, Brock Bowers was available in the 9th and 10th round. Like Trey McBride was in the 6th round or whatever. Like George Kittle was in the 7th round. I could get the best tight ends on the board who were now drafting much, much, much higher and still only take 2 and like get this huge edge at the other positions. This year, I don't feel the mid tier, those where the Bowers and McBrides and Kittles and whatever go is dog shit. Like, no offense, TJ Hawkinson. Like, no offense, Mark Andrews. No offense, Jonnu Smith. But, like, that's not the archetype of tight end that I really want to be buying into. I think Salf mentioned Ferg before. Like, Ferg, we catapulted up into that tier, and he really didn't deserve to be there. I drafted him some. I'm an idiot. But now he's fallen back like 6 rounds. He's like 6 rounds cheaper than he was. And it's like, I can get those guys. I can get Goddard. I can get Ferg. I can get Njoku cheaper. There's so many other guys. It's really tricky. You know what I mean? Tight end has been the position I feel like I've actually struggled with the most. I have a fairly clear plan for how I want to attack the other positions, but tight end, because of just like the middle is just so unappealing to me that it's really hard to wrap your head around the tight end thing. Damn, I don't have any 49ers and Purdy's on the board. Oh. I mean, if there's a marathon ass pick, Darnell Mooney and Javonte Williams, come on down in the marathon, brother. If they should name this the Javonte Williams Invitational, not the marathon, because he probably couldn't finish a marathon anymore. He's getting old. But like the Javonte Williams Invitational is the marathon. If week 1 matters as much as week 17, he is the guy. That's totally fair. Mac's been hammering the Panthers, Jaguars, and Cowboys too. Feel like their pieces have a great chance. Nailed it. Yeah, brother. Is it okay to ask dynasty questions in here, or do you? We are only going to do best ball content, like the subjects of the videos and the drafts and all that kind of stuff. We're never going to venture into. But like I play, of course. I'm still in. We drafted Dynasty League when I was 16 years old. I just turned 37. When I was 16, we drafted a Dynasty team with all my high school buddies. It still lives on. It's very serious. I've quite literally never won it in 21 years, and it still makes me mad. Very, very mad. Okay, this is kind of crazy. So I really don't love Colson Loveland in here, but a little bit of a fall. And if I'm going to draft 3 tight ends, which is still sort of my plan here, because I mean, I do have 4 running backs already: Chuba, Judkins, Pollard, Javonte, kind of a nice little blend of guys for the marathon. Loveland may come out of the gate slow, but there's a bunch of tight ends later I like that are probably not going to come out of the gate slow. So I can kind of combine those together. I'm feeling good about Darnell Mooney, wide receiver 5. Right, this is kind of all coming together fairly well. Obviously, I've made a big bet on the Cowboys, so Dak's going to need to be good. But welcome to the fucking marathon. You're going to have to make a big bet on something and trust in something to happen that may not be priced in the way that it's expected to happen. Amen. Top 3, or we get to the Njoku, Goddard, Ferg range. I'm with you. Pepper Tony says Gesicki, Otten, Henry, likely stranger. Yeah, and that's not even what Chig, Jatavian Sanders, both Rams tight ends. Theo Johnson. Who am I missing? Like at the most of the NFL's starting tight ends are available from like round 14 on. And so it's really tough if you need to be a difference maker or right like so like I went in for Loveland on this because it's like he can I know that Zach Ertz and whatever Brenton Strange and stuff are not going to be the next Trey McBride. Maybe Colston Loveland is because he's a rookie on a fun offense. I can blend Loveland in, right? So I take earlier today, I took Isaiah Likely, Zach Ertz, and Hunter Henry. Now I took Ertz and Hunter Henry because they fell past ADP, but nonetheless, I think that they were good fits with Isaiah Likely, where it's like, man, the Likely bet is like he just emerges or Andrews goes down or something like that. But blending them with the kind of higher floor veterans who are just never going to be fantasy superstars, I think it's like a really good strategy at the tight end position. All right, we're back on the clock. Penix. Okay, I can. Oh shit! I'm taking both. Yep. Ooh, shit! Goddard is here. No, I'm taking Tajay. I'm taking both Titans backs. Call me crazy, but I like it. Marathon ass strategy, I believe, is what people would say. I'm going to consume all of the Titans' backfield production with just a 7th and a 12th round pick. Actually, I do kind of like it. I think they can like ping pong weeks. They're back to touting this split backfield bullshit in Tennessee, which they told us last year, and then Tajay was just like getting 6 touches while Pollard was getting the rock. I do think it's going to be split a little bit more, but I also think the offense is going to be better. And I think Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears are just good football players. I do. I'm a Mullings stan. I'm with you. I like Khalil Mullings, but if 7th round rookie running back is the guy that burns me, so be it. Why Dad says I love Spears. They said for 2 years straight they want the backfield to be 50-50. But yeah, and maybe Tajay will never be healthy. He doesn't have an ACL in one of his knees. So who knows? But we don't need him to be healthy for the rest of his career. We just need him to be healthy for like most of this season. Right? That's kind of a dark, fucked up way to look at it, but we're playing the game. Might as well play it. Come on, Mossy, move it along. I'm just trying to get to my Bryce Young pick here. I could probably push this, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna play nice. I'm taking Bryce. We made the Panthers bet. It's time to, we made our Panthers bed. It's time to lie in it. I'm just kidding. I really don't care, but I thought it was funny. That's good. That's good. I like that. This is a great tip from Walter. Every time you click Javonte Williams, in order to feel like a normal human again, you got to go watch the 2021 highlights. That's the last time there was highlights from Javonte Williams. I dig this. That's genius. If it makes you feel better, I'm also working and drafting at the same time. You don't hear me fucking complaining. I didn't even realize that. I was listening to J. Cole before this, so maybe that's what it was. J. Cole is an true artist, a phenomenal poet, and maybe that's what giving. This is the new thing. I'm into this bit, dude. I'm into this bit. When you draft shit players, you got to go watch to make yourself feel better. You got to go watch. If you draft DeAndre Hopkins, got to go back to the Texans. Or like game 1 with Cliff Kingsbury, who just catches hitch / back shoulder after back shoulder, standing on the left side of the formation the entire fucking game, running the same route. Oh God. That's funny. I'm working, drafting, and watching the stream. My work productivity has definitely decreased by 80%. If it makes you feel, Leggett goes. Is Thielen here? I can't believe I just said that, by the way. Oof. I will say I'm very happy I did the shit, guys. I gotta do tight end here. I'm gonna do Gesicki over Ertz though. We're gonna do Gesicki over Ertz. I have T. What? So why did you take Gesicki over Ertz? So I drafted T. Obviously, it gives me a little extra Bengals bet, but also gives me like Jamar Chase misses. Even if Jamar Chase misses a game, but if Jamar Chase misses time period, I have two right with two different picks. I get that extra added upside on the Bengals. T and Gesicki without Chase. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Oh, here we go. I have a contending team that needs help at running back. I just traded Ray Davis and Diggs for Mason and Shaheed. Yeah. Looks good to me. I'm a big Ray Davis guy, but I do not value running backs like at all in fantasy. Ray Davis is also old as shit. And I really like Diggs for best ball purposes. If I can get out of him and get, Jordan Mason and Rashid Shaheed, absolutely. There you go. That's a good call by Scott. And the Gesicki spikes happened without T, so you get potential. Right. There's a bunch of different ways. The Bengals are really fun to take Chase Gesicki. Chase T is fine. It's just expensive. But like Chase Gesicki, T Gesicki, I'm really not doing the Yoshi thing anymore. But there's a lot of those little paths, like, oh, so-and-so gets dinged up. And so now you get extra added upside. God almighty. Okay, now we just had to auto add Dylan Sampson to the queue. I assume one of you fuckers already took yeah, you did. I was trying to who took Shipley already? Nobody? Fuck. I said it already. Said it out loud like immoral. Oh no, he's gone. Oh my fucking god, Berg. Berg took Shipley 154. So I was right. I'm not wrong. What an asshole. Why'd you get in here? Why'd you get in this draft? To do that? What a dick. I like your team, though. Fun team. I mean, this is just ridiculous. You guys are trolling me at this point. I have him ranked at like 125, and I'm complaining about him going 154. Like, why don't you just draft him, dude? Thoughts on Brees and Dynasty? Love. Definitely willing to buy low. It's a first round pick last year. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Shipley might be a 10th round pick in Spike Week draft, says Self. It's crazy. You guys can never let me have fun. I've made multiple videos, and about the only things I've really talked about: Will Shipley, De'Ami Brown, and it's like no one gives it. Like I can never ever get the guys that I talk about. I need to change my I should change my Abby from the Spike Week logo, like on Drafters, and sorry, this site I subbed that said Shipley was a top 130 player. That is true. That is true. That's why complaining. All right. So now before this happens, I just say De'Ami Brown is like maybe the best pick in the marathon. Maybe the best pick. Starting wide receiver, showed fantasy upside on a Jaguars offense we're excited about. Gonna play and run most of the routes. How much is Travis Hunter going to play wide receiver? I don't know. And they just paid $10 million to Diami and then cut Gabe. And look, I'm a Parker Washington slappy. He hasn't shown me any reason to continue to be, but I still do it. But he's a slot. He's a slot receiver. Diami, I think, is versatile. They like him. BTJ ripping the top off the coverage on the other side, drawing double teams in a Liam Cohen offense. And like Gabe is gone. Does everybody know that Gabe is gone? Does it like what? I don't get it really. I don't get really what's going on with the Diami. Bo says, "What state are you in?" I am technically in Illinois, but I am right next to St. Louis. For anybody that's not a geography expert, which of course I am absolutely not a geography expert, St. Louis is right on the Mississippi River. So the river divides Illinois and Missouri, and I'm right across the river on the Illinois side. I like Parker Washington. It's not erasure. Nobody had... Okay, I got to pay the fuck attention to this. You guys are killing me. All right, time to swing. Jarquez Hunter. Time to swing on Jarquez Hunter beats out Blake Corum and gets the backfield. Oh, man. Shout out, Greg. Last episode of Around the Horn. I didn't know it was today. I knew it was coming. Man, so many days sitting at home after school or whatever, watching Around the Horn. Good times. I'm with you. I'm not sure I would go so far as to say studs, but much better than Gabe Davis. 100%. Feel like all three of those guys could be the third highest target getter in Jacksonville. 100%. Definitely with you on that. Yeah. Yeah, we're about to hop in the drafters draft, and Diami's gonna go at pick 110. At least I got him. I never get fucking Will Shipley anymore. Ever. So I got a real marathon ass pick ready up for the next one, and you're not gonna like it. Yeah, man. PTI is gone off the rails and it's not very good anymore. But the old school days of Kornheiser and Wilbon on PTI with Around the Horn. Around the Horn was first. It was Around the Horn, then PTI, then Sports Center. Is that I think that was the order. That was the best, man. Stay home from school sick. Watch Price is Right at I'm in the Midwest, so at 10 o'clock, watch Price is Right. Fuck around and probably play some video games after Price is Right is over. Eat some lunch and wait for Around the Horn at 4. Just the best. Cheers, Scott. Amen. I'm with you. Have a great weekend. Thank you for hanging out, dude. We'll have to do a draft together coming up soon. Amen, man. Okay. I got a guy. So Diami is gone. I know they added Debo, but I'm taking me a little bit of Noah Brown. And I also think he's like kind of a good marathon pick specifically, or drafters pick specifically. I think he's going to start on the outside. I think they're going to put Debo in the slot. And I think like they brought Noah Brown back. Luke McCaffrey stinks. Diami's gone. Zacchaeus is gone. Those guys are gone. Like I think Noah Brown was good. Every time Noah Brown gets on the football field, he produces. I kind of think Noah Brown is just like a good pick. He's a great pick in this format specifically. You can worry about his week 17 upside or whatever, but in this, I don't give a shit about that. All right. Yeah, exactly. All right. It is time to move on over. We are going to do the $20. Let's see where we're at. Okay, 4 of 12. 4 of 12 in the DraftKings $20. I need 7 more of you sickos if we can If we can fill one of these, we can all have a happy weekend. Yeah, definitely erasing the great thing about Jalen Lane erasure is that I don't need a very big eraser to wipe him away. We need a 5'8", 175-pound gadget player from Virginia Tech. It doesn't take much to erase him. Are you predicting actual usage for Shipley or 100% injury bet against Saquon? So here's what I'll say. Actual usage, there's always actual usage for other backs in the backfield. So am I predicting Will Shipley to touch the field and get some touches in every game? Yeah. Tyler Algier gets every third series for the Falcons, right? Like Bijan is what we classify now as a workhorse, as is Saquon, but they play like 70% of the snaps, 75. So there's still a quarter of the backfield available. It's just Kenny Gainwell took it last year. Kenny Gainwell is gone. And so your draft will begin when 0 more joins. That's something. That's a first. So like it looks like I'm on the clock in some slows. A non-zero amount of touches for Will Shipley, even alongside Saquon. Nice, the 111. Actually, really likes the end of the first. God damn, all you guys in here again. So like actual usage, technically yes. Actual usage that's like, oh my god, he's scoring 15 points a game. No, but he's going to play. If they continue to be that good, he's probably going to score some fantasy points here and there. A couple usable weeks, even alongside Saquon. But then, obviously, the real bet is Saquon, because Saquon doesn't have to like blow out his knee and miss the whole season. Just miss a game, right? Like concussions happen, sprained ankles happen. Dings, like especially he had 1 million touches last year, and then they played a bunch of extra games in the playoffs. They could just want to, who knows? They're already in the playoffs. It's week 15. Saquon had 1 billion touches last season. Maybe we scale him back for Will Shipley. There's just a bunch of different ways that he can win, and he's free. I also just one of my biggest pillars in best ball is that the contingent value players are just mispriced. Totally mispriced. As this draft is starting, I want to remind everyone, if you're watching now and you hang out until the end of this draft, we're going to give away a free ticket to the Drafters Best Ball Championship here. So if you enter, I just posted the link to the Google Sheet in the chat. In the first column, you'll see the other people that put their names in there. At the end of this draft, I'm going to toss those all in a wheel, spin the wheel, and one lucky live viewer will win a ticket to the Best Ball Championship, but you got to be here at the end to win it. So 45 more minutes. Happy Friday. Yeah, that wasn't my plan. I'll say it wasn't my plan. Berg's Galaxy Brain take, aka Coping, he says, is that since the Eagles already won the Super Bowl, they're going to place less value on the regular season, and Shipley will have more of a role than Gainwell did. I also think there's a potential. I don't think that's that Galaxy Brain. I think that there's very real potential that Shipley is just better than Kenny Gainwell. Kenny Gainwell is like they're very different, like human beings, certainly stature-wise, but like the Samaje Perine of an NFL team, where like the teams just trust him to not fuck anything up, and like he goes out there, he's going to do his job, he knows his assignment, he's going to like get what's blocked, he's going to not get Jalen Hurts killed and all that kind of stuff. He's just not a very particularly good football player. Like he's fine, right? He's an NFL player, but he's not like a difference-making NFL player. So when you get that, it's very possible that Will Shipley is just better than that, right? Yeah, Shipley's definitely more explosive, but it doesn't take that much to be more explosive than Kenny Gainwell. Though I loved Gainwell in college. He's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. We'll do Amon-Ra. Give the 112 Genty. I really don't have Amon-Ra yet on the team. 0% Genty, 7% Brian Thomas. No Henry. No London yet. Interesting. Damn, BTJ goes. I'm gonna pull AJB up. We'll just get the A Browns. Get the A Brown stack going. Oh gosh. Brats versus hamburgers. Man, I love both. I'm gonna go brat. I'm gonna go brat. Just because hamburgers, it's the unique combo option. Everybody does hamburgers and cheeseburgers for sure. And I mean, I love a good cheeseburger. There ain't no question about that. It's just a more frequent occurrence. Brats end up being something that feels a little bit more like an indulgence around a holiday. Like it just feels like that's what I'm supposed to do, you know? I genuinely like never draft the Cleveland Browns outside of David Njoku, and then took the Browns and took A Brown and A Brown to start the second one. Yeah, Diami, Noah. I've taken 2 Cleveland Browns, a Diami Brown, a Noah Brown, an Amon-Ra St. Brown, and an AJ Brown. This is the Brown episode. Interesting. FF Doom says cheesebaker if I'm making it. Brat otherwise. You make a fire cheeseburger? What's the recipe? So I make a decent cheeseburger. Probably not as good. Like I'm not a chef or anything like that. But have you seen the movie Chef? Then from the movie Chef with Jon Favreau, they made the Chef show. It was on Netflix where Jon Favreau brings in. He became like obsessed with cooking and food and all that kind of stuff with that from that movie, where he plays a chef, of course, in that movie. And they bring in a bunch of people to do a lot of like really awesome dishes. And there's a restaurant in, I believe, Atlanta that does a burger that they made on that show. And I made that one that they've made before. It's just go look it up. I forget. I'll look up the restaurant that they made the burger from. But I've never been able to recreate anything even close to that. Like with my own cooking, like they're fine. You know, I can make a cheeseburger, I can make a smash burger, I can make whatever. But I do enjoy a good brat and a good. I mean, if you can make a really good cheeseburger, like I would choose. I can't believe that how deep we're going on this. I would choose a really good cheeseburger over a really good brat 100 times out of 100. But most people don't make a really good cheese. They make an edible, solid cheeseburger. Most people don't make a really good cheeseburger, and like you just like can't screw up a brat. You know what I mean? They just like all generally taste the same. Yeah, brat is far safer. High floor, low ceiling. High floor, medium ceiling. I enjoy it. But oh my, nice little fall for Terry. Let's do Terry then. Now I got a plan. I got a sick plan for this team. Get ready. We talked about this on the lab the other day, so I hope H-Man 99 is not a member of the lab, though I like what he's doing there. Genty BTJ T-Mac. It's very nice. This is 100% true. Other people tend to. This is the American way. We complain about food and such and whatever. Oh wow, he took Daniels. That was not what I was going to do, by the way. Here's an example of what we talked about with, you know, AJ Brown plus Amon-Ra is a slightly unique combo, and then you get Terry to fall a little bit, and then you pull up George Kittle, and instantly, like really, no matter what I do the rest of this draft, we're good. We got a certainly unique team right? Because George Kittle goes on the other side of the board. He basically never falls all the way over here to 59, and nobody takes him at 38. But like, what's the fucking difference? You know what I mean? What's the what like James Cook, DJ Moore, George Kittle? Like George Kittle is the best tight end pick on the board last year. Would you have taken JD? The 12 hole wasn't a big fat meanie head. No, I was intending to take George Kittle and pull up George Kittle. Like I do a lot less of the stacking in the first several rounds of the draft. I'm making a slight exception with the Eagles, but I do a lot less of that stacking early because it's just like always a popular combo. Doesn't mean it's wrong, but when people take Terry, they're constantly looking to see if they can get Daniels or, and it doesn't happen all the time, but it's just never a low owned combination of players. And given the fact that I really like I just straight up like Hurts better than Daniels. I love Jaden Daniels, but I love the Baker, Kyler, Dak, May, Herbert, Stroud, Lawrence. I'm sure I'm missing some guys too. Like I love that whole tier. Bryce, Penix, McCarthy, Gino. Like I love all of those different guys. So I can still get my stacks with a slightly cheaper option and build a different team, right? Build a different Terry McLaurin team than a large percentage of this tournament's going to do. Doesn't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean it's wrong to draft McDaniels. That's it, right? That's Terry plus Jaden. Is McDaniels. We're solving everything here on this show this afternoon. Brats are the Javantes and Pollards of the food world. I'm with you. Javante's a little harsh for a Brat. Brat's a little better than Javante. Jordan Mason. I think a Brat is a Jordan Mason. You know what you're going to get. It's not perfect. It does the job. You know what you're going to get. There's upside, but a high floor, right? Hard worker, basics, bun, mustard, straight to the point. Run through a motherfucker's face. That's what Jordan Mason does. 100%. Javante is a hot dog. Jordan Mason is a brat. RJ Harvey is a cheeseburger. That's it. Javante hot dog. Jordan Mason brat. RJ Harvey cheeseburger. Oh, we're bringing the heat today, fellas. See, Trey Sermon wasn't a brat. I don't even know what Trey Sermon was. Trey Sermon was like some new fancy, fish dish. And I like seafood, but it can be risky. Okay. Sure. I'll do Kamara. I haven't done Kamara yet. Yeah, Sermon is the impossible burger. We're saying he's the 49ers running back, but that shit ain't true. And it doesn't even taste good. The idea of the impossible burger is fine. All that, blah, blah, blah. But stop it. Just stop it. Now it's Jawan time, baby. Set up our 49ers. Tree Sermon was a veggie burger that Burger King came out with a while ago. Lots of hype, but now nobody remembers it. That is good. That's good. Fucking Trey Sermon. I love that the placement of the video part here cuts off the 12 hole, but keeps my team visible on the screen. I like this. The 12 spot's a good team, though. That's why I like it. He took Genty. He or she took Genty, BTJ, T-Mac, Jaden Daniels, Jerry Judy, and Trevion Henderson. God, Tyrion Davis Price. We're bringing back all the names. DeAnthony Thomas, Tyrion Davis Price, Trey Sermon. It is. Oof. 49ers. Pretty hilarious run out for the 49ers running back situation for years and years now. I'm going to mention one more time. Hold on, find it. If you're here hanging out, I see all of you that are here hanging out that have not put your name in to win a free ticket on drafters.com. At the end of this, we're in round 6. When we get to the end of this draft, anyone who is entered on that Google Sheet, which I just now posted into the live chat on YouTube, you'll be entered to win. So free ticket at the end of the show on Drafters, but you do have, I don't know how to give it to you if you don't put your name in column A of said spreadsheet. South did a burger with so is this a hot take? Probably. I love that this has turned from here's all the keys to total point scoring drafts to barbecue talk since it's a holiday weekend. Is it a hot take to not be a mushroom guy? Don't like them. Like a fried mushroom, like if you fry anything, like right, like I'll eat it. Like I don't really like pickles either. I don't put pickles on my cheeseburgers, but give me a fried pickle, ooh, brother. I'll chow down on some fried pickles. And so like a fried mushroom, fine, but like I don't know. I don't know what it is. The texture's gross. I don't really like mushrooms. Hot take, maybe? Is that a hot take? I don't know. Shuby thinks it's a hot take. Not a mushroom guy. Not a mushroom guy. This is fair. I think this is a fair take. Mushrooms are overwhelming, okay in moderation, like on a veggie pizza, but yeah, like a big old portobello, like no interest. No interest to me. See, I'm like neutral on cucumbers, like totally neutral. But I do not like a pickle. But again, if you fry it, I actually like the smell of pickles. There's another weird thing. I actually like the smell of pickles, hate the taste unless it's fried. Yeah, this is probably the right answer. If I don't realize I'm eating the mushroom, I love it. When you know, it's it's my mind playing tricks on me. Oh, good God, guys. Okay, I only have Kamara. I'm gonna do DeAndre Swift. I despise DeAndre Swift, but I think it makes sense on this team. No Cap Mac, I got you. Boom. Problem solved. Mac is entered. Fix your phone. Me and the 12 spotter kind of duking it out for the same strategy here, I think. 0 RB ish. He thought he was being sneaky. Take Daniels for me. I'm going to take B-Rob. Don't love it, but let me introduce you to my 3 chaperones on this team: Alvin Kamara, DeAndre Swift, and Brian Robinson. Chaperone City is locked down on this squad, but we're set for our Niners stack. Got outs to golf. I like it. I actually think it's a totally solid drafters / cumulative scoring team we got going on here. Okay. Bold. Where are you, Shuby? 101. No, you're fine. We're in a good room. Oh, is Marv next to you? Who has Marv? Do you have? Oh, you have Marv. Who has McBride? Oh, you have both? You're fine. Don't be a coward. Don't be a coward. This draft is going too smooth for everybody, though. Who's in here, like, breaking stuff? There's nobody in here breaking anything. I guess, I think White Dad did say what the Burrow guy. Lulu 314, the 314. Lulu, are you here? Because 314 is the St. Louis area code. And I'm not sure if I can claim you taking Derrick Henry, Lamar, and unstacked Joe Burrow on this team. Not sure if I can claim Lulu here. Interesting board. You can always tell it's a spike week draft because it's everybody kind of stays in their lane, but sometimes the lane is, the fast lane. Sometimes it's the middle lane. Sometimes it's the commuter lane. We all are in very different lanes, taking very different routes. Sometimes we're taking the scenic route, but they're all very different. Yeah, see, he came back easy. Slam dunk. Kyler came back. Easy peasy. And you got your Jaden Higgins. It's all good. I feel like I'm about to have an allergy attack. You have to forgive me. If I sneeze, I'm going to mute. I've gotten old and stayed inside and drafted fantasy football teams year round for so long now in my basement that holy cow. It's a tough scene. My eyes are itching. I feel like I'm about to die. Okay, back to me. I don't want to do Caleb. I don't have any of the actual Bears wide receivers. I just have a Swift. I could do Bird and Caleb. That's interesting. Wait, where's Purdy? Who the fuck took Purdy? Oh my God. Gerardo. I can't believe I just missed it. I was having a fucking allergy attack, getting mad. Whatever, burden, fine. This Gerardo, like really? Is it really necessary? I built this whole team to get Purdy. The purpose of the whole goddamn team was to get Purdy. Better watch out, Gerardo. I'm gonna put you in my thumbnail and the title of my YouTube video. What's your hometown? I'm kidding, by the way, for anyone that doesn't get the inside joke. It's a bad inside joke, but it is nonetheless an inside joke. I know. He has IUK and CMC. We were battling it out. I'll settle for Caleb. I have Caleb Swift burden. It's fine. Wait, where's the chat? Look at Shuby. Shuby is doubling down. Drafters chat and YouTube chat. Respect. Because I know Mox doesn't come in the Mox probably doesn't go in the drafters chat either. If I'm gonna go search Gerardo's out in the users on Spike Week. Honestly, if you have GER in your name, you're going to get banned. So we're just going to ban all of them. That's confirmed, by the way. That's confirmed. But we rebounded. I'm cool with this. Honestly, sometimes you get a little lucky. Took Swift. It helped me ironically set up a Bears stack. Loveland can still be around, right? I don't have a tight end. It can set up Loveland for me. I don't know that he'll get back to 131, but it's not impossible. Man, my man's getting roasted. Not even here. Not even here, and he's getting roasted. Oh, shoot. All right. 4, while we're waiting, started out of the 11 spot. Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown, Big Brown. This was a Big Brown stream. Cleveland Browns, De'Ami Brown, Noah Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown, Terry McLaurin, George Kittle, Alvin Kamara, Jawan Jennings, trying to set up the Niner stack, which failed spectacularly. But luckily, we took DeAndre Swift to help kind of give us outs to this Bears thing, which was unexpected. B-Rob, who I think fits the format in the total points concept, fits this team with a quasi zero running back team. I'm going to need to take some swings here on some running backs that are not Kamara, Swift, and B-Rob to try to extract a little bit of juice, but that's okay. And then because Purdy didn't come to us, we took Burden and Caleb to build this little. Oh, Gerardo is here. Also has a Cash Money Records Abby, so respect. I get it. I mean, I'm not fucking happy about it, but I understand. You know, I get where you're coming from. I don't like it. I don't like where you're coming from, but you have my respect. It's a happy Friday. No Cat Mac is out here. Damn it. Lulu is just straight disrespecting the 314 here. You guys are not really making me enjoy this, by the way. Although did do the Lamar, Bateman, Andrews, Derrick Henry. So I like that. Don't love unstacked Burrow, and Colston Loveland kind of ruins the potential to at least go Gesicki. I mean, it doesn't ruin it, but Etienne Garendo, woof. I'm gonna take Etienne. Actually, I really am not big on Travis Etienne, but I'm trying to take more Jaguars. I'm trying to specifically take more of the Jaguars running backs because we did the show the other day. So yesterday was top stacks. Wednesday was players to draft before like training camp and stuff. And I really think the Jags running backs are like, there's just no possible way, absolutely no possible way that the Jags running backs are correctly priced. I don't know who is wrongly priced amongst the three of them, but I know collectively this is not right. It just cannot be. So I'm just going to keep kind of drafting those guys. No Garendo. So another one of my favorite things to do, I'm going to take Dallas Goedert, by the way. I have AJ Brown, no Devontae Smith, no Saquon Barkley. Similar to what we talked about on the marathon team with T plus Mike Gesicki. That's how I feel about Dallas Goedert. Like pairing Dallas Goedert with either AJ Brown or Devontae Smith, whether or not you have Jalen Hurts, is the like, we know that they're only going to throw to those three guys in any game anyway. They can get there if they have to pass more. I know that the tush push is back, so that, whatever. But if something happens to Devontae Smith, even for like a game, right? You saw Dallas Goedert on the winning drafters team at the very beginning of this show, right? Because he had that one huge game. You know what happened in that one huge game? AJ Brown got hurt. And so we have those paths to like a bunch of paths for the Eagles pass catchers, and it's so consolidated. And Goddard is now so cheap that he's like a real priority, especially when I have an AJ Brown or I have a Devontae Smith. And I think that's again, that is something that I'm doing in all formats of best ball. It's really powerful in these total points tournaments where, you know, Devontae Smith misses a month, but it's week 6 to 10. That's cool for BBM. But if he comes back, right, Goddard kind of turns back into a pumpkin maybe, and you're not that excited. But on here, those 4 weeks are just as valuable as any other 4 weeks. So I get the power of that month or those 2 games or that one game that somebody missed is so much more impactful here. The only time it's that impactful in Best Ball Mania in the DraftKings Millie is if it's week 17, right? Maybe week 15 or 16, but really we want that in week 17. I can get that in week 7 here on Drafters and still get a hugely impactful game. That's totally fair. We're praying ETN gets traded, Whitehead. I think ETN is risky, but still has upside. I like him in playoff style because I think he could get traded before the deadline. Totally fair. Like full transparency on the Jaguars thing, ETN is my least favorite. And so that's why if you could feel it for me, like I was like, my skin starts to crawl when I draft Travis Etienne. I hate it. But you can't say that the Jaguars running backs are like all mispriced and the situation is like one of the best to attack and then ignore one guy at pick 130. Like this is 11th, 12th round player. He's extremely cheap. Once upon a time, we were drafting him, including last year. We were drafting him way, way, way higher. And I know we're all in love with Tootin, but like Tootin wasn't exactly a first round or second round pick in the NFL draft, you know? And apparently, I don't know if you've heard, still can't hold on to the football. Bashal Petey Tootin. I can't believe that nickname has not, by the way. I'm crowning it. Tootin is Petey. For those of you unaware, go watch Remember the Titans. Yeah, exactly. The perfect comp. Why Dad says the Dallas Goedert thing is like Kate Otten. He looked like prime Kelsey when everyone was there or when everyone was out. He was just absolutely dominating. But then everyone came back. And it was like, well, now I don't care about him anymore. He didn't do anything. I'm taking Isaiah Likely. Absolutely slam dunk run to the podium. Isaiah Likely. I do need one. I am going to take one of these quarterbacks. I don't have them. What the hell just happened to all my exposure stuff? Oh, there we go. See, I have not even taken any of these quarterbacks on drafters. So we're gonna see if we can't figure out a little back stack of probably Bryce, Gino, or Cam Ward. What's the bye week stitch? Looks fine. Who did he take? Braylon? All right, let's do Bryce. I know I don't have any Panthers, but we can figure that out. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I kind of forgot I had George Kittle on this team. Don't shoot me. But it's fine. We'll take Likely. It's cool. Sean G says somebody was saying Bigsby fits the scheme best, but I forgot where I heard that. Yeah, admittedly, that is not my single area of expertise. I do evaluate all the running backs, but in terms of the fit into each offensive coordinator's scheme, not my single greatest strength. I think that again, all 3 Jags guys, there's just a bunch of paths. Like somebody gets traded right? ETN could get traded and it's a huge win for him. I'm not expecting that, right? The running back trade stuff, we bring it up every year and it just like never happens. But it doesn't mean it's a 0% chance. So like that could be correct, right? Tank could be the best fit and then Tootin is the rookie kind of backup or whatever. And yet ETN could still end up being a win, you know? See, this is why every time somebody does the like just watch the tape, watch the games, bro, and gives like no offense, our guy Dylan in chat today was talking about how Kyle Pitts is slow out of his breaks and does all this and like whatever. And it's like that's fine. It's a fine take, but everybody has different takes on the tape. So when someone says just go watch the games, don't you know? It's like A, I watch all of the games, I promise you. And B, the two smart people, neither individual is unintelligent. Two smart people look at the same player and the same tape, and one guy says, Tank is breaking tackles like crazy. He's a monster. The other guy says, he got really lucky. That was just bad tackling. Right? It's like, so they both watched the same shit and they drew complete and utter opposite conclusions. That's why we watch the games. We have our player takes like everybody else does. But I want to draw a significant amount more of my takes from true data, right? How did this guy perform based on the data? Now that has plenty of flaws too. That's why we do also still watch the games and why, right? We try to apply the context to it. That's why we look at a lot of other metrics. But it drives me nuts when people be like, just watch the tape, bro. And it's like, I do watch the tape, and B, everyone gets different takeaways from said tape. So that's not a like a reason to give for anybody. Because one guy watches the tape and says they hate him. The next guy watches the tape and says they love him. I watched the tape on Quinshon Judkins for 3 years. Trust me. And I'm not a fan. And I know other people that watch the tape on Quinshon Judkins and they think he's the RB2 in the class after Genty. It's like we just have different opinions on what watching the tape even means. Shipley 164 in this draft, huh? Guess what? Suck it, losers. I'm pulling up Diami to 179. I specifically did that because the 112 has Trevor Lawrence. Just FYI. I don't think he was actually going to take Diami, but one of you dickheads were going to. So, see, the thing I hate about drafters is that the Will Shipley price is just absolutely out of control. So I can never even count on him at like pick 180. But he doesn't even go. I mean, he's always gone before pick 180. All right, Hunter Henry and Keenan Allen go. Oh man, I have 14% Jalen Wright, and I have him with nobody on this team except he's on 100% of my AJ Brown teams. I am going to put him in the queue though. Yeah, Jalen Wright. All right, I'm cool with that. So through 16 rounds, we got 4 more picks. This happens. I feel like this happens so often in these rooms. There's just nothing you can do. You queue up all these guys, and we all like the same players in this crazy little Spike Week community, and then your whole queue gets wiped out. Exactly. Especially when their first name is Diami. Like all these brown guys have cool names. Well, AJ is fine, but what's AJ's real name? Shoot. Why is my mouse not working? Oh, this is why. Oh my god. Driving me absolutely nuts. Okay. Amon Ra, awesome name. Diami, awesome name. Arthur Wan, thank you guys. See, like, what a sick name. Or like most AJ, BJ, DJ, right, is generally like Dennis, Diami Jr. Arthur Wan is truly elite tier name, right? But so is Diami. Yeah. See, I haven't. I know Reeves is probably my favorite analyst in the entire fantasy space, and so it triggers me that I didn't remember that. But I haven't been. No offense, Rich. I haven't. It's May. I haven't listened to a bunch of your stuff just yet, but we'll get to it. Walter says, I thought Bigsby was a better gap runner, not a perfect fit for outside zone. But doesn't mean he can't do it. Yeah. I'd have to go back and double check. Tootin was outside zone. I think that's why they drafted him, right? Tootin was much more of a zone runner at Virginia Tech. If I recall, I would have to go double check it. Thoughts on Keenan Allen? He's going to rise 3 to 4 rounds once he gets picked up. Yeah. I think I like him more than the market does, or more than a lot of our best ball sicko community does. I think he's going to play. I will eat that L if I'm wrong. He was still productive last year. I think it was Matt Irby for Legendary Upside did a piece, the last piece that I read over there that actually was talking about how Keenan was still shockingly like productive, and not just like fantasy box scores, was like reasonable. He needs to find a job, which is terrifying, but I like him a little bit more than I think the average person does. I think that somebody's going to pick him up, and I think he's still got enough in the tank to be useful for fantasy. All right, this is painful. Okay, Jalen Royals works. Let's double check running back really quick though. Woof! Holy cow, guys! All right, Jalen Royals. Again, this is going to be. Is this really going to be unstacked Bryce? No. I don't really have a fucking option. Man. I'm not doing Jimmy Horn. It's true. I did once eat a lot of hot dogs on a best ball stream, though. Yeah, I have 3 tight ends already. This is why I screwed up with screwed it up earlier. It is not. Come on down, Jordan James. All right, one last for the folks in the chat. What the hell? Oh, there we go. Somebody cleaned it up. One last shot in just a couple of minutes. When I come back on the clock here, we are going to give away a free ticket on Drafters. So if you just joined us recently, last shot, there's a Google Doc link in the chat. If you see the other folks' names in the first column, put your name in said first column, and you'll be entered to win a free ticket on Drafters Fantasy into this tournament that we're drafting in right now. $20 NFL Best Ball main event. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to first place, $500K to first place, millions of dollars in total prizes. So we're going to be, over the course of the summer, giving away a good amount of tickets. It will be a little bit ad hoc. It won't be, like every week at this time in this stream, we're going to give away tickets, but as just about any time that I am drafting a Drafters team on stream, we'll do a free ticket giveaway. Shout out to our good friends over at Drafters. If you have not signed up over there, please use promo code SPIKE. You get 100% deposit bonus up to $100. They have super quickly, just before I'm back on the clock, if you haven't seen their it's like truly insane ticket stuff. So first of all, they just announced 1 minute ago, or was that a month ago? That was a month ago. I was about to say 1 minute. For every 5 NFL best ball teams drafted then, right, on that flash bonus that they did, April 23rd. So they're going to do some of these over the course of the summer, right? Draft 5, get a free ticket, all that kind of stuff. But they also did, my God, the chat folks here. There's I'm sorry, I should have had it pulled up. There is a like draft 10, draft 25 teams before the end of June, and you get free tickets for each milestone that you hit. So like if you play on Drafters, you use deposit bonus right? You get 100 free bucks with code SPIKE. You draft 10 teams, you get a free ticket. You draft 25 teams, you get another free ticket. That they're going to do bonuses over the course, right? Flash bonuses over the course of the summer. You're going to get extra free tickets. You can get like seriously, like 10 plus free teams on drafters easily from using all of their promos. It's crazy. Thank you, Jonathan. In the let's go back real quick. Milestone bonuses. See, there you go. So 10 drafts, free ticket, 25 free, 50 free, 75 free, 100, 2 more free, 150, another one free. And you get an extra 150 bucks, right? If you max it, they're just going to put 150 bucks in your account. So, oh shit, I'm on the clock. Sorry, it got a little over exuberant with all right, running back time. Oh God, Trevor Etienne, Miles Sanders. I'm not even going to say who I just drafted for the audio listeners. You're going to have to go watch. But I'll give a hint that it was one of my highest drafted running backs last year. He was on IR, and it didn't go well. His coach got fired, and his coach did not love him last year. GM Benny, it is 3:30 in the afternoon here in local St. Louis time. That's fine. It's true. Or we'll go to therapy and still keep drafting Kendre Miller. Man, I'm so mad about not getting the stack. Let's turn this. Let's keep this. Oh, who took Noah Brown? Who did it? I wanted to turn this into the Noah Brown. I do not have enough Ty Felton there. That's what I'm seeing here. 7% Ty Felton. He is a third round. I mean, geez, man. Like, if we could draft Jalen Naylor a bunch last year, which I did, and I'm very happy about, we should be drafting Ty Felton, third round pick. All right. I'm going to run down this team, and then we're going to give away a free ticket. Caleb Williams, Bryce Young at quarterback. We intended for this to be Brock Purdy, but this is okay. The Bryce thing didn't work out perfectly, but that's all right. Alvin Kamara, DeAndre Swift, Brian Robinson Jr., some might say BJ, Travis Etienne, Jalen Wright, Jordan James, and Kendre Miller. I'm actually quite cool with this running back room. It's not one that I normally draft, which is fun, but I'm quite good with it. Amon-Ra St. Brown and AJ Brown, Arthur Juan, Terry McLaurin, Jawan Jennings, Luther Burden, De'Ami Brown, Jalen Royals, Ty Felton. I actually really like that blend of wide receivers. Got a handful of rookies, got the kind of De'Ami thing, Terry thing, right? Jawan, get the stabilizers, the chaperones, if you will, alongside the rookies. George Kittle, Dallas Goedert, and Isaiah Likely. Really don't love drafting the 3 tight ends on that team, but nonetheless, we're good. It's a good team. Dare I say, fun team, some might say. How do I clear this? All right. Copy, paste everybody's names into the wheel so we can spin and get a free tickets. Ready? And here we go. Oh, Jace, aka Jim, the winner of the free ticket. Just shoot me a DM so I remember to. I'll send the note over to drafters here this afternoon, and we'll get you your free ticket. Thank you guys for hanging out. I took enough of your time here on this lovely Friday holiday weekend, extra long weekend. A ton of fun. Make sure you hit the like on the way out, hit subscribe. Rob will be back on Sunday morning with Sicko Sundays for another draft stream. Rob and I are introducing a new show next week that you'll see an announcement in the Discord and on social media for that. But enjoy your weekend. Thanks for joining. Go crush some total points format teams over on Drafters, over in the Marathon, and anywhere else that has those tournaments. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there, you can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.